beautiful people of YouTube. Bullhorn Betty up in the house. It's nice to see you all, beautiful people, this wonderful, beautiful, amazing morning. It is Manic Monday, December 16th, 9 days away from Christmas. And as we refocus this channel back to giving our power to our higher power. Hello, Carla. Jenny, it's nice to see you. Good morning, Brenda. Me and the kiddo are right here. It's nice to see you, the real me too. Susan, good morning. Outer Banks, it's nice to see you. I hope everybody has got their cup of Joe. Eeyore Blues, Mickey Shell, Melanie, it's nice to see you. Melinda, Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy, hugs and kisses. Nice to see you guys. Been a little minute. Decor and More, SRK, it's nice to see you. Veronica, good morning. Good morning. Amanda, metal ass. We have a little metal in our ass. Oh, did I say that? Dink, it's nice to see you. Darren, Niner, it's nice to see you. Good morning, VA. Oma, it's nice to see you. Don, good morning. YouTuber, good morning. Shining Star, it's lovely to have you today. Teresa, Cher, Bear, it's nice to see you. Blue Nick from the UK. Smiley's World is up in the house listening. Well, good morning, Smiley's World. It's nice to see you. Busy Mama, it's nice to have you. Elizabeth, thank you. Cinderella, it's nice to have you. Rhonda, Miss Tiffany, it's nice to have you up in the house. It's me being me. Good morning, good gracious, Pigeon. My word, that's a tongue tire. You're gonna have to change your name. You're just gonna have to change it. No, I'm just joking. Oakley, it's nice to see you. Fine Summer's Truth. Dawn, it's nice to see you. Phyllis, good morning. Patricia. Mandy, it's nice to have you. Before we get started, we're back to the language of letting go. Jules B, it's nice to see you. Teresa, good morning. D's Mystery Obsessed is up in the house. Why does my collar keep getting twisted? Don't be getting it twisted today, y'all. Don't be getting twisted. Don't be getting like my collar around my neck. It's not as cold this morning as it was, so we're going to get to the language of letting go. Get us all in the right mood for this Monday before we take it all away and talk about this piece of snizzit, right? So, now is a powerful time. The entire skydive is great. A friend said to me, but one of my favorite moments is when we open the door and I can see the whole sky spread out in front of me. I remember that feeling the day I was given the choice to recover from chemical dependency or go to jail. The day I got my first writing job. The day my daughter gave birth to her first child. It's that split second when now freezes and stretches into infinity. For just a moment, all that has been and all that might be crown into a singular arc in time, and the power of the universe rushes through us. Get a little of that feeling every day, just to remind yourself of the power and potential of now. Sure, we can envision our rosy future after the big project pays off, and when we've got our 15 years of sobriety, or after we reach a retirement. But what about the moments when the minister pronounces you husband and wife, or the moments after you tell your parents you're gay, or the day you walk out on someone, or the day someone walks out on you? The power isn't out there somewhere in the distant horizon. Feel the rush of the moment. It really is your life. You have all the power you need right now. God help me tap into the rush of power available to me right here and right now. I like that. I don't know what's in this. This was, I'm pretty sure, I think Ginger is the one that donated this. And we haven't really read this. This is more of, what's December 16th? I can't believe how long or how far we're already in. I haven't read this today, so you might as well read it with me, and then we'll get on into the topic of conversation. This is for December 16th. This is Jesus is Calling. Enjoy peace in his presence. I'm speaking in the depths of your being. Be still so that you can hear my voice. I speak in the language of love. My words fill your life and peace, joy, and hope. I desire to talk with all my children, but many are too busy to listen. The work ethic has them tied up in knots. They submit wholeheartedly to this taskmaster, wondering why they feel so distant from me. Living close to me requires making me your first love, your highest priority. As you seek my presence above all else, you experience peace and joy in full measure. I also am blessed when you make me your life, your first in your life. While you journey through life, my presence, my glory brightens the world around you. And it gives you some work, Psalms 119, section 64 or paragraph 64, Isaiah 54, Revelations 2:4, and Isaiah 62. So there you guys have it. I hope I gave you your dose of energy this wonderful morning. So I don't know how many of you guys are associated. Oh, hey, Miss Ricky and Emma. It's nice to see you. True Crime Addict up in the house. Who else did I miss coming in? Christina, it's nice to see you. Janice, Sharon, good morning. Danielle, Katie. Sasha, good morning. Melissa, Realtor Lulu, it's nice to see you. A little bit of everything. It's nice to see you as well. I think we got everybody. So good morning. Last night, or yesterday afternoon, you guys watched me do a couple of videos. I was a little perturbed with whatever was happening with dog in Sumner County and everything like that. And we have our feelings about certain situations, but I want to put that on the back burner because, oh, thank you, Emma. 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell. Oh, it went up on me. Emma, thank you. And who else just came in? I just saw I Spy. It's nice to see you. So there was another story that I think people, like Crime Time Buzz was ringing the horn on it a couple days ago, and nobody really kind of picked it up and realized how important the information is. We're hearing that this unscrupulous PI that was hired by the mom and the stepfather, allegedly, we are very unclear whether he is truly employed by the mom and stepfather of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers or not. But he appears to be at least submerged in their life as of we know it. Most recently with the Texas Roadhouse, we heard he ran up there. I don't know if it was him or I don't know how he would have been in Tennessee. I thought he was in California. I don't know. I digress. Long story short, he was bragging on social media, stating, this was from Mike Dam, if you guys see that. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Maybe it's too far away. I'm going to read it for you now. It's from Mike Dam, and this was on Twitter, and this was under, I believe, an at-night intelligence agency post, but it wasn't, the comment wasn't made when the post was made. The comment was made like a couple days ago. And it was related to the green shirt hoodie person that was seen, that has recently been cleared by law enforcement, that was seen outside of the Texas Roadhouse conversing with the victim's mother, Katie Proudfoot, next to her car door. So this person was a little concerned and says, why is there no desire to figure out whose car pulled up at 3 a.m.? And so yesterday afternoon, we had a huge full, hey, Granny, it's nice to see you, my love. And I see Crystal Pistol in the house, Juicy Jello, it's nice to see you. Did I say hi to you, Blue Nick? If I didn't, good morning, Poppy Love, good morning. So long story short, they were asking that, and SF responded, the unscrupulous PI, responded, we know exactly who it is. And then Crime Time Buzz, and you might have too, Granny, and I'm not sure, had a live on this topic of conversation where people are questioning, you know, who are these people? But nobody was really questioning, was this stuff turned over to law enforcement? So I had learned that no information related to this 3 a.m. vehicle, and this is based on the flashlights, right? Going from the what appeared to be the backside of the Sebastian's home to this unknown vehicle, right? This unknown vehicle. I'm going to call it a vehicle because some people believe it was a sedan. Some people, like me, believe it's a full-size SUV. Either way, there was a vehicle. We can all agree that it was a vehicle, some sort of vehicle, okay? That was seen out on the side of Stafford Court, closer to Kellen Lane intersection, okay? I ran the story yesterday that the PI has not notified law enforcement of this critical revelation. I can tell you that since Nick Barris dropped this video on March 14th, law enforcement has been eager to find out who that was, despite what they tell us in the public, whether they tell us it's a trash truck, whether they tell us it's, you know, lightning bugs on a freaking video, right? It doesn't matter. The bottom line is we know that they had to have seen it, that this is a critical piece of evidence. It happened literally 3 hours before a child was reported missing. This is a significant video in the case. So much so that they tried to lead us astray on the video that it is, never once acknowledging that there was a vehicle there or there were flashlights. And now this unscrupulous PI is stating that they know exactly who it is. And we learned yesterday that it was possible that he had never turned that information over to law enforcement. Well, our unscrupulous PI has admitted such. In the most recent post related to my commentary, which was about 14 hours ago, it is stated that he has no obligation to notify law enforcement. No obligation at all to notify law enforcement, i.e. confirming that he may possess critical information in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case that could lead to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and he is refusing to turn that information over to law enforcement. Oh, yeah, she's a cutie. She's been energized today. She's been energized and playing with mommy. She thinks mommy's a jungle gym. She absolutely thinks mommy's a jungle gym. And the real me too, remember how you said she was walking on my back? She did that crap last night while I was trying to sleep. She wanted me to play and I wouldn't play with her. So she decided to start walking on my back and say, Mommy, it's time to play. Isn't that what you say? Oh, your feet are cold. No wonder you went up here. She said, my feet are cold. You need to warm my feet up. You need to warm my feet up. Yes, you do. She's such a cutie pie. Nobody realizes how small she is because when I hold her up. But look at my arm. She is a small little girl, okay? I know you guys can't tell, but she is a very small little girl. She's not very big at all. She's probably less than 2 feet long. I think she's 16 inches, 18 inches. I don't know what she looks like. There she is. Say hi. My mommy loves me. I love you guys because she loves you guys. There she is. You guys got your Delilah fixed for today. It's nice to see you. Crime Alive, Sabrina. It's nice to see you. She is so precious. She's my little baby. She's my baby girl. So getting back to it, now that she's up here, she just wanted up. I find this, oh, and he, by the way, he tries to call me capitalizing on a tragedy grifts, right? Really capitalizing on a tragedy grift. I guarantee this man, if he's working for these yahoos and being paid to run interference, he's probably made a hell of a lot more than a lot of us here on these platforms. So the only grifter and obstructor, and quite frankly, I believe accessory after the factor, is this unscrupulous PI that allegedly knows information but won't tell. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think it's time to go over there and demand that he turns that stuff over to law enforcement. This is critical information that could definitely lead to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and he's sitting on the information and has been sitting on the information allegedly for quite some time. I personally don't believe that he has the people inside the car, because I personally believe I know who the people were inside the car. So maybe that's the reason why he's withholding the information from law enforcement. I'm unsure. Oh, and now we're hearing there was a boyfriend leaving his girlfriend at 3 a.m. from behind her house into a car. Someone is around the block. Really? No trash truck going back and forth in the yard. I call bullshit. What are the odds of a boyfriend, which I'm pretty sure it's older people that live by them, right? I bet you if we go and look at public records, we'll find out that there's no boyfriend, girlfriend on that street in that area. Just saying, right? So what are the odds, even if there were, what are the odds that a boyfriend and girlfriend have a fight that forces the other person to walk through the backyards of people in common areas, and these people have fenced in yards? And why didn't we see the flashlight coming further down the road if that was the case? Why did it appear to go directly toward the Proudfoot home? This is a man obstructing justice. What you are watching is an unscrupulous PI literally obstructing justice and putting bunk information out there, much like he did for Kylie Rodney, much like he did for Dylan Rounds, much like he did for Layla Santinello, and now doing it in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. I think everybody should be demanding he turn any names and any vehicle information over to law enforcement immediately. And just to remind you, he has an X profile, and it's listed as SF Investigates. So if you would like to, and it's a public channel, so if you would like to go over there and express your opinions, I would behoove you to do so. You do not withhold critical information in a missing boy's case when we don't know if he's dead or alive, and you could be hindering and literally have blood on your hands if something happens to him thereafter, because you're all over YouTube bragging about knowing who the person is. The person may just go idiot. Total idiot. He is not police. He needs to be turning the information over to police. If I had some information like that, do you think I would be withholding it? Let me ask you guys that. Honestly, do you honestly think if I had some information like that I would ever withhold that from law enforcement? Ever. In a million years. And I guarantee you guys can raise your hand and say that they would have it before I would ever release it online. In their hot little hands before it's ever discussed. That man can't investigate his way out of a Cracker Jack box. That is funny. Yes, I agree. KPCP, let him put this out there about Sebastian. It's disgusting. It ain't helping in their own case. It's not. He will not turn it in because he would be giving false information. Interesting, Robin. Lying to law enforcement. Interesting. Very interesting. He just released it. A boyfriend leaving the girlfriend's parents' house. So we're just supposed to, where's the receipts for that? And why is he releasing it online versus giving it to law enforcement? Does anybody question that? What are the motives behind releasing something like that if we actually believed it? Which I don't believe it. I told you they were about to plan B somebody. I bet you anything. Really? What direction, what house were they coming from? And how did they get between, if they were walking on the road? If they were walking, because there's trees, there's no way. Let's look at this. There's no way. We're pulling this up on the map. I call bullshit, bull to the shit. I call bullshit. Google Earth. I call bullshit. Somebody better be paying for the cuss jar. Because I'm cussing, darn it. There's Sebastian Rogers. Oh, we got two of them. Look at that. I did one first. Huh? What was this one? Oh, must not have anything in that one. Let me go to the next one. Oops, didn't need to do that. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. There's Sebastian Rogers. We'll do the one. That's me. Okay, here we go. Now it's popping in. Okay, let's go home. Where's home? Why is this thing doing what it's supposed to be doing? Home, Children's Hospital, Big D, Plantation, Yogi Bear. So home is this way. Home is this way. Okay. We're almost there, guys. Sorry. I think the ground zero is the white one, but I can't be sure. Let me just hit that one. Why isn't it going in? You know what? I'll just put it up here. Sorry. Maybe it'll go in now. There we go. Finally! Let's turn this around. Let's see what we got going on here. You guys see that? Okay, let's look at this. Hopefully you guys can see that. So, let's look in here just a little bit. Look at all these trees. Now, let's back out. Let's take a screwed on down. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possible houses it could be here. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I don't think it could be any one of these houses. Oops, sorry. Any one of these houses over here. Why? Because why would somebody go this way and not this way? It doesn't make sense. Just like this. Why would anybody go this way when this way would be a lot easier? You're in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. in the morning. This car is literally, I don't want to pull it in too much. Can you guys see? Is literally right here. So where would this person come in and why was there no movement picked up on any camera? If he came from down here and wanted to cut through, these houses would have picked him up on the camera. All of these houses would have. So he comes here and cuts through here? That doesn't even make any damn sense. I call bullshit on the whole story. I call bullshit on the whole story. Who would leave their house and walk behind homes in the middle of the night in the dark? And if they had somebody coming to pick them up, why didn't they just come pick them up outside of their house or just down the road from their house? Why would they come? Why would they come? Okay. Okay. Who does anybody believe that horse manure? Let me get down to the bottom. I'm going to ask, does anybody believe that horse manure If you believe that horse manure, please put 1 in the chat. If you do not believe the horse manure, put 2 in the chat. Doesn't even make any damn sense. Oh, a boyfriend and girlfriend were fighting. So you run in the back of people's houses in the middle of the night? How can you determine which ones were clear-cut throughs and which ones were not? How often does this person creep around the house? And who would believe that somebody going 3 hours before a child is missing has nothing to do with it? Those people need to be thoroughly investigated. They need to have their whole entire background looked into if they were out in this area literally hours before a child went missing. That sounds awfully sus to me. Where's the receipts? Oh, because he said it. He said it. We all should just believe that this is just miraculously a boyfriend and girlfriend fighting. Yet law enforcement had no knowledge of that before. And not only that, why would they lie to everybody telling everybody it's a garbage or trash truck instead of a car if they knew that it was just a boyfriend and girlfriend from down the way fighting? That whole scenario does not make sense. Do you guys now see how much of a liar SF is and continues to be? You need to demand him to turn all of his information over to law enforcement, and I will show you how you can do that. You go over to x.com, and you go up to the search bar and you put SF investigates. And it's at SF_investigates. And you can, under his comment, write, why is he withholding this information from law enforcement? Demand him turn it over to law enforcement. Demand a thorough investigation into the information from the people investigating the case, i.e. law enforcement. Let's remember, this Yahoo is not law enforcement. He got his freaking license out of a Cracker Jack box. He's unethical. He's unscrupulous. And all you have to do is go and read half of his commentary on his Twitter page just to see how unprofessional this Yahoo is. He manufactures information and lies to the public to deceive them. There's no place for somebody like that in the true crime community. Oh, I'm sure law enforcement will be demanding to see his information. If he can't provide such, he will be exposed, that his license will be revoked. Well, his license may not be revoked unless there is a proper and thorough investigation into him and how he acquired his license, and truly look at his credentialing and how many hours he has worked under another private investigator. I guarantee he probably, most likely, in my opinion, lied on his credentialing related to the time under another PI. Because we have requirements here in the state of Florida that requires 2 years at minimum under another PI. And the way this guy works, there's no way he worked under another PI. He won't be allowed to work in that county if he's trying to stop the course of justice. That's what we assume. But law enforcement is allowing him to make to appear as if he's running their investigation. And it looks to me that he's obstructing it. He's refusing to provide them, law enforcement, with information before he provides it to the public. What kind of nonsense is that? Does that sound like a man that's really here for the benefit of the victim? Or does that sound like a person that's trying to put out breaking information under the guise of being a PI for the family, never once caring about the boy or getting the information over in a timely manner to law enforcement so they can review it and try to search for this boy? He's playing games with Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' life, and so is the mom and the stepfather by using this Yahoo. He withheld. I want everybody to understand. This man has withheld critical information that could aid in bringing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home, and he's failed to provide it to law enforcement. He provided it to the public before he ever even tried to provide it to law enforcement. And not only that, who believes that this is a boyfriend-girlfriend thing? I'm serious. Who believes it? I surely do not. We know he's unscrupulous. We know he's more of an accessory than he is a PI in this case. He is a leech when it comes to these cases. He literally sucks the life out of these cases. And I'm so sick of him being put on a pedestal when he causes such damage in real life people. All for a click and a view. I mean, isn't that what he's always saying everybody else is here for? Yet he turns evidence over to the public before he does law enforcement. That does not bode with what he's trying to portray to the people. It's just not. So if you have any information related to the people in the car, or you know who they were, because they clearly were not neighbors. How do we know they're not neighbors? Because that whole neighborhood, come on. That whole neighborhood, get out of my face, honey. It's not playtime. It's not playtime. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, it's nice to see you. I know you don't understand what a live show is, but it means that you're supposed to be good and not try to lick my lips. Let her get done. Are you good? Ready to lay down? Okay. Okay. Oh, it's me, Jen. It's nice to see you. How many parents are going to let their boyfriends come in their house at 3 a.m. to see their daughter over an argument? No way. Exactly. He said it was an argument, so by law, he has to turn it over because it's domestic dispute. A potential crime may have occurred. Sebastian is missing, so yes, he needs to turn it over immediately. He should have turned it over. Guys, he posted this days ago. So if he wanted to brag about it days ago, then he's had it in his back pocket this entire time, or at least what he was going to say, because I don't believe it. And not only that, when you go into a community 8 months later and you're talking about a specific weekend, people's minds are a little foggy, okay? And that could have happened 2, 3, or 4 weeks later, and people will think it's the same weekend because so much time has lapsed. This guy is a dodo, okay? He has crap for brains. He is not legitimate, and he has no knowledge of investigative techniques or even interviewing people. He's a joke. He is a joke. Will he claim an argument so it could be domestic violence? It doesn't matter. It's not for him to investigate. It's for law enforcement to investigate. He is not law enforcement, even though he wishes he would be, right? He didn't quite make it. He doesn't have what it takes to be law enforcement. He doesn't have the demeanor. He doesn't have the mouth or the patience or the decorum to ever be law enforcement. Okay? He's a security cop. That's the way I look at him. Right? A security cop that can only have a taser because he didn't quite qualify for a gun. Just saying. That's how I look at him. I look at him like Bart in that movie, I don't know. Remember where he's the mall cop? I think a SF as a mall cop. Sorry. let me get my professionalism back in check. So sorry. Okay, this is another thing, and it was because Mama Bear was just in the chat, and I wanted to read this to you. So I'm fully there is an email that I had received, and I thought it went in line with some other comments, and I thought I should read it aloud. I think if you listen carefully to something Chris said on Web Sleuth, it will prove that Chris and Katie did not know Sebastian was truly going to live with his dad. Even though Seth made it clear to you that he talked to Sebastian about it and seemed to go, it seemed a go come summer, the Proudfoots are still going by or left with Sebastian. No, I don't, answer as Chris said to Sebastian. Sebastian said when Seth asked Sebastian if he wanted to move in with him, when all four of them were in Chris's kitchen. Sorry, my glasses, I can't read. I don't know why. Maybe I need to blow it up a little bit, but I don't want to. It is an additional motive, if not the motive for the Proudfoots and Bowersocks to take matters into their own hands to get Sebastian out of Chris's house. I believe that's the reason Chris was initially trying to get Sebastian to his dad's was because family law judge will not place a child, Faith, in the home where there are DCS reports of abuse of another child living in the home. Tennessee family law specifically says this. I researched it, and they got access to all reports, even closed cases of reported abuse, and get to read them. They consider all reports, even closed ones, as evidence of abuse. Again, it's in the Tennessee Family Law online documentation. That is why the Proudfoots were trying to get Sebastian out since 2022. That is correct. Because the Proudfoots know the law. There's no way their highly paid lawyers did not tell them this. Most often is the case by law, a child usually 11 years or older can decide which parent they want to live with full time. In other words, Katie and Chris could not force Sebastian to move out of their home. Oh, I don't know what to add. The way Chris was making a point, what goes on, what is said in my house is nobody's business. To me, he was really saying, I'm not going to publicly discuss the reasons why I wanted Sebastian out of my house. I fully believe Chris was convincing Seth it was because some possible inappropriate behaviors from Sebastian not wanting him around Faith were exaggerations, if not outright lies, because he sure the hell wasn't going to tell Seth the truth, that the real reason was because of the DCF/CPS reports of abuse of Sebastian, and they would never get custody of Faith if Sebastian still lived in their house. If anything else, please keep the clip below as evidence in the event Chris tries to lie and say they were all prepared. It was all set for Sebastian. And here is the video that everybody, oops, let me hit that. I think it is in the right place. Give me just a second. It's only a 40, oh, nope, I hit the wrong button. Hold on a second. Let me hit the right button. So it'll start at the right spot.
Unbeknownst to you, it already.
There we go. Let me get this twisted around. There we go.
Talking to Sebastian, he knew this wouldn't be a permanent thing, and me and him had already spoken.
Well, that right there's a conversation you should have had with Katie and myself about what your plans were.
I'm sorry. Do you want?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
What Seth was saying is that if I had known the conversation that him and Sebastian had, that I would know the whole thing. But the downside is that's where Seth should have had that same conversation with me and Katie, and that didn't happen.
Chris, unbeknownst to you, had already talked to Sebastian. He knew this wouldn't be a permanent thing, and me and him had already spoken.
Well, that right there is a
I
conversation
just wanted you guys to hear it
you
again.
should have had with Katie and myself about what your plans were.
I'm sorry, do you want?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
What Seth was saying is that if I had known the conversation that him and Sebastian had, that I would know the whole thing. But the downside is that's where Seth should have had that same conversation with me and Katie. And that didn't happen.
Okay. So now we know that did not happen. Okay. So they were not aware that it was set in stone. Sorry, my doggy mess over here. I'm trying to keep the mess out of the view. Which reminds me, I probably need to give her one of these. This is her favorite, and it's Old Roy. She does not like the more expensive one. She loves the Old Roy. I don't know why. This is the only package of Old Roy I have in this house, but these are the only twists she likes, and they're rawhide free twist sticks with chicken. She'll eat these things all day long. So again, we have a situation here. And when you hear his voice, he's like, well, you should have just told us. You know, it almost implies that because he didn't tell us, this is why we're in the situation we're in. I mean, did you guys hear that? And then you couple it with this crackpot PI, this unscrupulous PI that doesn't mind lying on federal documents and stuff like that. And he did. I am a witness of it because I was a victim of his federal filing federal documents under somebody else's name. That is a federal charge, a federally chargeable offense. So if he doesn't mind doing stuff like that, do you think he minds doing this? Plan B? I told you they were about to plan B somebody. I told you they were about to plan B somebody. And now they're going to have these people's lives turned upside down by law enforcement because of SF's lie. And that's what's going to end up happening. Law enforcement are now going to have to reach out to these people, bring them into the office, interrogate the crap out of them, scare the crap out of them because he's covering for his clients. And you know how we know he's covering for his clients? Because if that was the case, law enforcement wouldn't have lied to us and said it was a trash truck. Just saying. I just sent you an email with some interesting screenshots you may want to look at. Let's see here. So here's some screenshots. It says sneaking in or out like a typical teen then. No, he was actually allowed there. They were up late. He was over there very often. So it sounds like he's getting this from a third party. Just easygoing parents, I guess you could say. We know whose car it is. In the video, we know the exact car and the owner of it, why he was out there. It's a kid that was at his... This is not even the parents. This is third-party information. From who? This is not receipts. Who's this conversation with? Who's the conversation with? He's lying. He needs to turn this over to law enforcement for it to be thoroughly investigated. Thoroughly investigated. How dare him withhold this type of information from an active and ongoing investigation? And for those that have been supporting him, you know you need to unsubscribe from him. This is beyond. This is beyond anything. This is not a true crime community where we withhold valuable information from law enforcement in an open and active investigation where a kid's life is on the line here. A child's life. And he thinks it's a freaking joke. And he puts this out for receipts? How do we know he's not having this conversation with himself? This is not receipts. This is not receipts. I know you know that, Amanda. I'm not letting you. I'm not yelling at you. Thank you for sending me those. But what a freaking joke. What a joke. Steve, why wouldn't you tell Ellie this information? Is it because you assume they already have it? I'm confused. I would like to think that would be more important information to turn over. No, I'm not accusing you of anything. Just genuinely confused as to why a PI would hold back information of this nature. They know the information. They also have the surveillance. And the second there is nothing suspicious about the car or the driver, you can literally see what their actions are. I call bullshit. How can you see what actions are when it's pitch black out there? This man is lying through his teeth. Even Chris on Spirit Seeker Squad, sat there and said you can't make anything out, but you can see shadows. Remember him making that assessment? Why? Because he's seen videos of people walking and you can't see. And he's saying you can clearly see what their actions are in the middle of the night on a video. We saw the lights video coming from one of the closest video cameras to that. Could you make that shit out? Miss Bobby reviewed the information and said you can't make out anything, but you can clearly see flashlights going from the back of their home to a vehicle. But now all of a sudden, you can see everything that's going on? And you guys believe this horse shit? I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but look at all the evidence that we know for a fact. There's no possibility of that statement being accurate. There's no possibility of that statement being accurate. Tell him to release the video, not some stupid screenshots. And who was he talking to? Who was these messages from? We know whose car it was in the video. We know the exact car and the owner of it and why he was there. Who's writing that? That's from a third party. That's not from the kid. That's not from the kid's family. That's from somebody else saying, oh, we know who that is. And he's just saying, okay, well, we know who it is. We don't need any further information. He's full of it. He's full of it. And this is one from CB where it says, Claire Duke, you are absolutely correct. I don't need to buy favor with God. As far as Nina Gomez is concerned, she's great at lying and manipulating people. Ask her if she would like me to publish every text message and video, especially the ones from Albuquerque police body camera of the officer that went with me to pick up my granddaughter. That woman is evil as evil can be. I'm not reading that anymore. No, there are not 5 reports. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. And law enforcement has them and has been in their possession from the beginning. Yes, Casey, yes, we are. He's put out bunk receipts. Those receipts absolutely do nothing but say he received information from a third party and he's believing the third party information. What he produced as receipts do not corroborate the information he is stating as fact. I can tell you that. I can absolutely tell you that. I think we should bring more Black Hawk 57 in. He's extremely smart in my opinion. Forrest, yeah, I agree. I like Black Hawk. He did the video. I'd like to see a little more videos from him, without a doubt. I liked it. I thought it was very informative. I hope he does more videos like that. This right here, I can tell you, is not receipts. These are opinions. We have no idea who that is. Let me show you this. Hold on. I don't want to dox anybody, so I got to wait until I get there. Hold on. Let me get this out. Make sure it's not in the screen. I'm sorry. Now Delilah's back down. Then she's going to be back up. She's going to be crying. What? You got down? Quit looking at me with that tone of voice. Okay. So this is the receipt that he's producing to justify his statement. It says sneaking in or out like a typical teenage then. No, he was actually allowed there. This is from a third party. This is not from anybody inside the household. This is some third party that's giving secondhand information. Secondhand information. There's no supporting information here. It's just somebody's opinion and statement saying that this is what they believe. And he took that and ran with it. This is what it says. It says, so he writes, sneaking in and out like a typical teenager. See the blue? That's SF. This right here, we have no idea who this is. This could be very much, let me see how, I don't understand. Usually it has a name, and the name has been removed from who he's conversing with, which is odd for me. No, he was actually allowed there. They were all up late. He's over there very often. Just easygoing parents, I guess you could say. And I can't read because he cut off part of his thing. I wouldn't bother you if I didn't think it was something to maybe see. It's not the whole video. We know whose car it is in the video. We know the exact car and the owner of it and why he was there. It's a kid that was at his girlfriend's parents' house. So why in the hell would he be parking down the road for 3 to 5 minutes before leaving? This car wasn't parked there for a half hour. This car wasn't parked there for an hour visiting over at a house with parents. According to Miss Bobby, what she previewed on the neighbor's security camera is a car pulling up, it turning off its lights. It's sitting there for 3 to 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden these flashlights approach the vehicle, the car leaves, and one light goes back toward the house. That doesn't sound like a kid that's hanging out with parents and his girlfriend. This is all lies. This is all disinformation and misinformation meant to distract people from the truth. Sounds like a cover-up in the making. It sure is. This man is obstructing justice. He's intentionally putting this misinformation and disinformation out there. And this boyfriend and girlfriend now are most likely going to have their whole life ripped apart to find out if they had anything to do with this because of this stupid idiot. Like Nina said, CP became more and more aggressive, and there's proof of the aggression towards Sebastian. There is. I know my brother used to sneak out of the home. We've all snuck out of the home. I mean, I snuck out of the home too. Maybe SA issue with my speculation, KP and CP. I don't know if they have to victimize also, but it seems relevant in my opinion. I'm sure SF gets money for it. He's probably being paid for all of this. He is. We know he is. Remember, he's a pro bono that always seems to get all this money from his clients. Well, it's kind of funny because for the last 3 years, all of his work's been pro bono. So how is he making money? Because he's conning the people he's saying he's working pro bono for. That's why. That's why. SCLE clears everything. Y'all there covering for each other, in my opinion? Yes, I believe that's what the case may be. Sounds like someone walked him out to be taken by whomever was in the car. Was it Seth, Chris, a friend, foe? Was it even a car? Great question, B. I think it's an SUV, personally speaking. I don't think it was a car at all. Why would a teenager that's sneaking out of his girlfriend's house go to Sebastian's house? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And not only that, he's not saying the kid snuck out. It sounds like he was hanging out there because he writes, he goes, was this a sneaking out or sneaking in and or out like a typical teenager? And the person responded saying, no, he was actually allowed there. This doesn't sound like a 3 to 5 minute visit. This sounds like a more lengthy visit. Mom and dad will let this kid come over that time of night. He's going to be there for a while. Why is he not parking in their driveway if he's allowed there? Why would he be parking on the side of the road for 3 to 5 minutes while flashlights come up to his vehicle? Doesn't make sense, does it? If you guys think that story that SF just spun out makes sense, put a 1 in the chat. If you think he's liar, liar, pants on fire, please put a 2 in the chat. The person is saying, no, he's allowed there. That's SF. The other person is the follower of SF emailing. Now, I think the blue is SF. Let me look at my Twitter. I'm pretty sure the blue is SF. Let's see what it looks like on my Twitter, because it looks like he's been communicating with on Twitter. So let me go to my Twitter. See what it's what. No, the blue is definitely me. So the blue would be him. The gray is somebody else. The gray is the other person that they're communicating with. And when I look at mine, which it's weird because when I look at my account, my text message account, it shows the person's name at the top. I think this was manufactured because let me find somebody that won't mind me showing theirs. Okay, here's one. This is Richard Citizen Journalist, and you can't get a conversation from him. But see, I'm on the Twitter, so if I wrote back, mine would be in blue. His is in gray, writing me to me, and any comment I make is blue. Go to your Twitter account and confirm that. Now, up at the top, it shows his name, not my name, and there's no way to change that either. There's no way to change that in here. So did SF actually ask this person to screenshot him these and send them to him? And if so, who was it? And who would be so close with SF that they would screenshot their conversation with him? Which doesn't matter because his is blue, not theirs. So this is his screenshot. I don't know how he got his name up at the top of this. Because when I go into my account to read my messages are blue and everybody else's messages are gray, but it shows it shows their information at the top, not my information at the top. Does anybody find that weird? How does his screenshots grab his name when he's having a conversation with another person, but mine does not? Go to your X feed and send a friend a message. You'll see their name at the top, not your name. Apparently, the neighbor leaked them. So then the gray information is SF. I'm trying to understand this. So It's Me Jen said apparently the neighbor leaked them. What neighbor? Where did these found? Amanda, can you tell me where you found these? Let me go over to the X. Let's see if he posted these. I don't see him on his page. So, Amanda, where did you find those? Can you email me and tell me where you found those clips of the conversation? So then it would have been the person reaching out to him, asking SF is sneaking in or out like typical teenagers. And SF is responding, no, actually he was allowed there. They were up late. He's over there very often. It's just easygoing parents, I guess you could say. So that must have been SF responding back to this guy. This is not receipts that those are. And his response still doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, Betty, but you need to go and watch Justin's live last night. The lady called in and gave Justin those screenshots of her conversation with SF. Okay, so then that's it. That's where they came from. Okay, thank you. That's what I was trying to figure out. So these are conversations. So she's asking, sneaking out, and SF is the one that's responding, telling her that no, it's just kids. So behind the scenes, he's not publicizing this. Just behind the scenes, he's manipulating the information for everyone, saying it's just a boyfriend and girlfriend. Now, if this kid was allowed to be at that child's house, why in the world would this car not be parked in their driveway? Why in the world would they be crossing through people's yards at 3 o'clock in the morning with flashlights? And why in the world would somebody be walking back? That does not make any damn sense. It sounds like there was two separate events, and he's trying to mesh them into one. There was probably a neighbor down the road that had a boyfriend or girlfriend over there and said, oh yeah, maybe he left around that night. I can tell you, according to Bobby, no vehicle came or went except that vehicle that pulled up for 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. That entire night. That does not make sense, especially if a boy is allowed to be over at their home. Now, we all know this is horse crap. So what is the next thing that SF says? He says, we know whose car it is in the video. We know the exact car and the owner of it and why he was there, the kid that was at his girlfriend's parents' house. Again, doesn't make sense because he states that he had permission to be there. The parents are easygoing, no problems. You don't park a half a block away from your friend's house or your girlfriend's house when you have permission to be there. No possible way. No reasonable person would do that. It's all garbage. What he did to this woman was not cool, in my opinion. Bobby has no reason to lie, period. He does. SF has thousands of dollars of reasons why to lie, right? Thousands of dollars of reason why to lie. So I think we should all demand that SF turn any and all information over related to the lights in the car over to law enforcement immediately, so law enforcement can adequately look at those facts and investigate them properly. Law enforcement needs to know. Nobody on this channel, on this platform, or in the true crime community should ever be withholding information from law enforcement. I don't care who you are. If you're in the true crime community and you're out there searching, it is not first to be told to your audience. It's first to be told to law enforcement. I hope everybody gets on that cardinal rule, because there may be some information that law enforcement says, hey, can you please withhold, right? If your only objective is the victim, your audience should always come second to that victim. Always, always, always. And here we know that this is bullshit. We know that this is a lie, and it's being peddled to the public before it's being turned over to law enforcement. This guy should not have a PI's license. If anybody's had worked with him in Tennessee, I would behoove anybody that has run in contact with this man to, if he has violated your rights in any way, shape, or form, you file a complaint against him immediately with all the supporting information. This guy is dangerous to these cases. Dangerous. Sure, dog knows about this dude. Yeah. He's trying to say he's better than the dog. Yeah, dog's got 10,000 people. You got 15 dudes. Sit down. Shut the fuck up. Excuse my language. Kinda. Kinda. You know? Excuse me, Sonia. Excuse me, Sonia. So, he must be bringing it to law enforcement is no good. Yes, he must bring it to law enforcement. This is no good. Yeah, It absolutely is not. And not only that, but he's showing the whole entire world it's about his audience, not about the case. That's a grift. It's for the clicks and the views. That's a grift, right? He's saying one thing, that he's here for the victim, and he withholds exculpatory evidence. That's a grift because it's a lie. And he's trying to be patted on the back saying, attaboy. There's no receipts. He has no receipts to support this. None. We need to be demanding that he turn that over. Sumner County needs to demand him to turn that information over. We as the public need to be making sure that that information is turned over. We need to create such a stink about it that Sumner County is forced to investigate this and forced to investigate SF. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, so it's not for clicks. Oh, he has an X channel. They get paid on X. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. They have the ability to make a crap ton of money on X. How much of the bonus did the feet socks pay USF for your lying to the public and trying to make yourself look like a big dog? But there's one dog, and you ain't him. I love it, Nani. I love it. I love it. Aw, thank y'all for the cuss jar. God bless you, Jen. Why are people so mean? We only want Sebastian home. Exactly. Because they don't. There's a difference. You can tell a difference in the creators that really give a crap about this boy and the ones that don't. Do you know if I had this information in my hot little hands, you guys would learn about it after law enforcement? After. Not before. After. And that is with their permission to release it. This man has contact with every single detective and still never turned it over. And then, moreover, turns it over to social media instead of law enforcement. And then when people question him, he says, I'm not required to turn it over to law enforcement. I mean, his statement is right here. And it says, verbatim. Oops, wrong one. Verbatim. I have no obligation to notify law enforcement. You're right, but you're on the phone with them every freaking day, according to you. So why would you be on the phone with law enforcement saying you're here for this child, and you're on the phone with them regularly, and are going to be on the phone with them because you're going to make sure that they understand what they're doing on their next one? Yeah, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Running the show, don't you know? Sheriff frickin' SF. Seasucker. Right? Sheriff SF Seasucker is on patrol. He got this. Sumner County, Carter, you can sit down. You can sit down because he gonna talk to you, Mr. Carter, Detective Carter. He gonna tell you about yourself. Because he runs your show. They need to get this man in check very, very quickly. This is an unscrupulous PI. And he's putting too much, yeah, maybe Sumner County doesn't mind him putting misinformation and disinformation out there. Maybe they don't mind him redirecting people's thoughts, right? Keep them off their prime targets. But this is disgusting. We need to be demanding that Sumner County demand this information from SF, and we need to demand SF to turn this information over to Sumner County. That's what we need. So I hope you guys do whatever you guys can do to help facilitate that. Sumner County Sheriff's Department office needs to be called to let them know that this unscrupulous PI is withholding critical information in their investigation. And we need to be demanding SF on X to turn over the information to law enforcement immediately so they can properly investigate it. All right, guys, there you have it. Apparently a private investigator knows exactly who this person is that was around when Sebastian allegedly left his home willingly and ran away, and somehow a light went back toward their house, but it has nothing to see over here. It was just a boyfriend, girlfriend, and the boyfriend had permission to be at the house, yet he decided to park a mile down the road. Doesn't make any damn sense. So it's time for it to start making sense. It's time to hold SF accountable. It's time for him to start being transparent with the truth. And right now, all he's doing is lying. So it's your responsibility to keep him in check. God bless you guys. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, kind to one another. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas.